Hey everybody, this is going to be a quick video on the top 5 pros of living in Houston, Texas. All right, jumping right into it. So I rank these from what I think are the least of the pros to the #1 best pro of living in Houston, Texas. Starting at number 5 is going to be job opportunities. So we have a lot of job opportunities in Houston, everything from the energy to healthcare to NASA to technology and startups. The energy sector, you're talking out like towards Katy. Downtown Houston, there's a lot of jobs in energy, and then plants and stuff around to the kind of the south and the east of Houston. You'll find a lot of jobs out that way. We also have a huge healthcare job market here. So you're talking like Herman Memorial Hospital. That's a huge one in Houston. They're all over the place. Major medical complexes. Methodist Hospital, that's another big one in Houston. And then there's several other smaller ones, but those produce a lot of jobs. There's a lot of job opportunity there. And with the healthcare sector, you can kind of move around the city, and there's pretty much going to be a major medical facility near just about any suburb you might be considering. Going east to the south, southeast, you're talking Johnson Space Center. A lot of job opportunities there in the aerospace industry. And they actually have built up some of those communities around there from the money that's influxed into NASA and that aerospace job market community down there. The last I'd kind of touch on would be technology and startups. So Houston's working hard to attract the technology and the startup companies out there. So there's a lot of growth and a lot of job opportunities in that space. All right, my name is Eric Shelby. I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Texas and a realtor. Me and my team, we cover solely the Houston area. We cover the suburbs. We cover even some of the stuff inside the city, and even summer homes and vacation homes down to the south, like near Galveston. So if you have any questions or you want to have a conversation, I'd love to talk to you. Our information's down in the description below. You can call, text, or send us an email. We typically respond same day. Sometimes within an hour or two, we'll get back to you. And we'd love to have that conversation with you, learn about your needs, what you're looking for, and what brings you to Houston, or what might be bringing you to Houston, or why you might be relocating within the Houston area. I'm also a 23-year Navy veteran, so I retired from the Navy, and I can also talk about some of the veteran benefits, from free license plates to reduced to no property tax, stuff like that, free toll roads, things. If you got any questions about veteran stuff or even the VA disability process, I've been through that process as well. Just give me a call, shoot me an email, or send me a text, and I'll get back to you. With that, we'll move on to the 4th pro of living in Houston, Texas, and that's going to be the mild winters. Now, I covered this in another video as a con, in our 5 cons videos, which I will link to above now. But in the cons, I said Houston's really hot. And we do have hot summers, but that also means we have mild winters. We're lower in latitude, so we have 3 months where it might get kind of cold. Average low temperature for December, January, and February is about 41 degrees. So you never really see snow in Houston, once every 3 to 5 years, maybe. And that's just for a day, and it's gone, and you're back to pleasant weather in the winters. But it does come with hot summer. The weather is definitely a pro in my personal opinion. All right, moving on to number 3, we're going to talk about things to do around Houston. There is a ton of stuff to do around Houston, from sports teams to museums to zoos to the Galveston to sailing. There's a lot to do in Houston. We have 3 major sports teams: the Houston Texans, we have the Houston Rockets, and the Astros. That's football, basketball, and baseball respectively. And those are all in the southeast, kind of south and southeast parts of downtown Houston. We also have some other smaller teams around the area. On top of that, we have the Gulf Coast. So you can see proximity down to the Gulf Coast. That puts you in touch with Galveston, the Strand, Pleasure Pier, all kinds of stuff to do down there. Then you've got Clear Lake, which is your boating and sailing. On the saltwater, there's fishing. You can even take sailing lessons down there. The fishing, and just all kinds of stuff to do in relation to the Gulf Coast and the saltwater. And then you've got the museum district in downtown Houston. So you've got art museums, natural science museums, history museums. Then right next to that, you got Herman Park. You've got the zoo down there. Just, I could go on. And that's not even getting into the commercial stuff, the water parks, the putt-putt, race courses, the Top Golf, all that kind of stuff. It's all over Houston. So there's plenty to do in Houston. All right, the number 2 pro for living in Houston, Texas is going to be no state income tax. And this applies to all of Texas, but if you're moving to Houston from out of the state, you're going to be looking at no state income tax. And so the way Texas kind of offsets that, because every state is going to get their taxes one way or another, is going to be in the property taxes. So in the cons video, I said, I pointed out that we're like 1.6% statewide average for property tax. The national average is about 0.99. So you will pay a little bit more on property tax. It's a trade-off with no income tax. If you make it a large amount of money, it's a huge benefit to some people to not have to pay a state level income tax. So something to consider there. All right, before we get to the number one pro of living in Houston, Texas, once again, reach out to us if you're thinking about moving here. We'd love to try to maybe guide you and help you in choosing where you want to live. We do also have a top 10 suburbs of Houston, Texas, and I'll link to that above right now, so you can click on that, watch that video, give you kind of a high level overview of Houston and the area, the suburbs, some of the roads, some things to think about there with the airports and the attractions, and kind of go in depth in that video. It's a little bit longer, but it's a good video to give you that high level overview of Houston. Yeah, give us a call. All that information, contact information is below. All right, moving on to the number one pro of living in Houston, Texas is going to be the cost of living. So on the national index, we're about 5% lower across the board than the nation. So that means our gas for our cars is cheaper, our groceries are cheaper, our utilities are cheaper, like housing costs are cheaper. Pretty much everything is just a little bit cheaper in Houston, which is obviously a good thing. So houses, you're looking at the Houston average house price is $335,000. And for that, you're looking roughly, and this is very generalized, but 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,500 square foot, about $350,000. And that's in some of the suburbs we cover in that video I just mentioned. So that's kind of what you're looking for. And compared to the rest of the nation, that's a lot for your money. So definitely an awesome pro of living in Houston, Texas. All right, that wraps up this video. If you got something from it, I'd really appreciate you hitting the like button. It helps out the channel, helps out the algorithms, and helps other people find this content. And if you want to get more videos like the cons or the top 10 suburbs, you want to get notified when we post those kinds of videos, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get a push notification, click the bell icon and you'll get that notification as soon as it comes out. And other than that, thank you for watching and have a great day.